Hey YouTube, good morning, it's Chuck. So I got some good news and I got some bad news, and I figured I would just take you along with me today on some of my beekeeping errands. It's December 22nd here in Jacksonville, Florida in Zone 9B, and this time of year is kind of left up to the chores, checking up with your bees, making sure they have enough food to get through what little bit of a winter we have here. For those of you that have been watching my channel since I started it, you know this observation hive has kind of been a staple of some of the lessons that I do. And also, it's a good way to peek inside of where the bees are. If you look back a few months, I cleaned out this observation hive and I made a video of me cleaning it. So it was definitely several months ago. But since cleaning it, the hive has gone downhill. Now, that could be seasonality, that could be a lot of things, but I want to show you where the hive is here at the end of December and maybe just talk through a few things and see what we learn. So I'm going to go ahead and take the cover off here, and that's where we are. There's Mama right in the middle, a tiny little cluster. Plenty of honey, and you can see them eating the caps off here to consume this honey here. If you look at this cluster here and you see bees on the top here, I'm guessing there's a cluster of bees on both sides of this frame. This is how hives die in the winter. Why this hive has continued to decline, I do not know. It's in here in the barn, and the barn does kind of get into the 40s and 50s. And in a glass case here, you could argue that they don't have the ability of regulating the temperature of this hive like they would in a 5 or 6 frame. This didn't happen last winter though. If you remember, going back and look at the videos, they had many, many more bees to get through the winter and to keep this little hive warm. So it's not resources. The queen is still here. Obviously, it's not the time of year to lay. You can see they've got this tiny little cluster surrounded with some nectar that could have been consumed honey up here, brought down, or it could have been from my feeder out in the front yard, which has got 2-to-1 syrup in it. Now, I do want to show you this side. Look, there are no bees here. And you can see some dead bees down on the bottom, and without the foraging force to keep this place clean, it's kind of getting a little moldy down here. Plenty of stores. Now, granted, the stores are all the way up at the top of the hive, and they're having to go up and get it. And you see this little worker here? She's up here probably getting nectar, or I'm sorry, honey from the top and bringing it down here to put it into these cells. So, I don't know. I don't know if this cluster is going to make it through the winter or not. I don't know what else I could do to help them right now. I have open-feeded pollen out available. I don't see any pollen collected, so low protein could be a little bit of an issue. I perhaps could try to open it up and put a pollen patty in here, but I think I'm just going to use this as a lesson to further understand why we lose colonies in the winter. Ultimately, they're dwindling. They're just getting smaller. They're not laying. Now, it is December 22nd, and the maple is getting ready to pop here in about a week. So the beginning of growth for these colonies is getting ready to start here in a few weeks. So maybe there's enough bees here. If that queen, has got some good fertilized semen in her spermatheca and she can continue to lay, perhaps this colony will survive. But I will keep you posted on it. But in any case, I just figured I would show you guys that, talk a little bit about it, maybe take some lessons. If you have some comments, leave them in the comments below. I'm going to probably clip a whole bunch more today, maybe some other hive checks that maybe will fit in with what I saw here. Make sure they've got some sugar and some pollen, and I'll bring you with me today. Hope you enjoyed it. Be right back. Here's another one of the chores I'm working on today, swarm traps. So this is last year's swarm traps, and I've got them all in here and cleaned them out. There was all sorts of junk in them. And this is last year's design where I had lids that were not telescoping. And this is Advantech, and it's a few years old, and you can see they're getting a little bit worn out. But what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to go ahead and change these so that the handles are offsetting, and I'm going to use telescoping lids on these this year. So I'm going to make some more lids. But here is the frames I pulled out of those swarm traps, and you can see in its array of foundation, old drawn comb, and things like that. And here's some of the lids. See that? That's even rotten. So these lids just got too moist through the year. Some of them are worse than others, but you can just see too much moisture. I need to improve that with the telescoping lid technique. But to tell you about my new hive design that I made a video of already, if you're interested in doing this, this is how it came out. I've got them all painted and camoed up. I've got the 1 1/4 entrance spinning cover there. I printed these on my 3D printer. There's a lot of options. You can buy those, or also you can make them yourself. I do have some screen in there to keep squirrels out. This is the telescoping lid design. See how it's offset on the back there so the lid can go down. Painted up, got them aluminum, and also the double bubble in here for a inner cover so that they don't propolyze the telescoping lid down. Nice design. It's the Decoats method where the shelf is created by the handle. Decoats was a man that kind of popularized this style and design. And it's much thinner and lighter. And the hive trap, I think, is going to really do good this year. I'm pretty happy with these. But obviously, as equipment ages, you know, you need to update your design and keep them healthy. So these are the old ones. They're much, much heavier. They're much, you know, sturdier. These traps I've probably had for about 6 or 7 years now. Yeah, so that's my swarm trap job. I'll be right back with some more. All right, boys and girls. We're going to do some hive checks here on these guys. Just kind of take a quick peek. I've got the camera just set up on the adjacent hive right next to me. We're just going to kind of see how these ladies are doing, whether or not they need more pollen. Wow, I'm impressed. First glance. Look at that. Okay, so what are we seeing here? We are seeing they have eaten almost all of the fondant. That baggie is almost completely gone, and the pollen is completely gone. And compared to my observation hive I just showed you, this cluster is looking great. So I'm just going to add a little bit more pollen, just because I brought it out here in case they needed it. And I'm just going to set it right here. That's it. They got sugar. I could probably add a little bit more sugar, only because I brought my bag of this fondant out here. I'm just going to throw some pieces in here, not necessarily add another baggie. Give them some direct access to sugar there. And that's all I'm going to do. Hive number 1, looking strong. So that was pretty good. I'm going to run down these hives. I'm probably just going to have you around my neck so you can watch with me a little bit. I want you to be able to see, but at the same time I want you to have the best first person angle. So let me go put you around my neck. I'll be right back. All right, you're back with me. I just can move so much quicker in these hives when I put you around my neck and just kind of talk versus worry about the camera angle and making sure you can see everything. All right, so let's take a quick peek here. Another amazing looking cluster, and see that sugar's all the way gone already. So they are looking good too. Little baggie, I'm just going to pull that off. Try not to upset those ladies too much. Wow, compared to that observation hive, these guys are booming. But because they were eating that sugar and it was gone, I'm going to give them some more. These are just little baggies of my homemade fondant I made. It didn't turn out perfectly, but you can obviously tell the bees don't care. And another half a pollen patty. The pollen patty has got sugar in it. It's got pollen substitute. I use Ultra B. That's it. These ladies are looking good. These are going to be some serious split candidates if they're that strong in a single going into the maple blooming here. And I'm just going to lean you up a little bit. These are my maples. I don't know if you can see at the very top, they're already swelling. So they're getting ready to start blooming here next week. I say next week just because I use New Year's Eve as kind of my benchmark every year. All right, let me move through these a little bit faster, keep talking with you. See how we got here. This is my bee radar. It's called a BEDAR by Broodminder. It measures vibration and activity in a beehive, which is kind of cool. Just more data for me to learn. Wow, holy smokes. Look at this. They still got some sugar. No more pollen. Wow. I don't know about you guys, but if your bees are looking this good, we are going to be set this spring. They've eaten most of that, but I'm just going to, like I did the other one, see, I've got this fondant just that I hadn't put in baggies yet. Just going to keep giving them some. In and out. 3 out of 3 look great. Moving on down the line. Looking pretty good too. Definitely one less frame of bees over here on these guys, these ladies. Don't see any overwhelming beetle problems. A little bit of sugar left in there. Here we go. Another great looking hive. A little bit less consumption of the sugar there. I just need to get rid of this fondant too, right? So I'm just feeding it to them because this isn't going to do me any good once the nectar flow starts in the spring. So I'm just trying to use it up, give it back to them. The fondant recipe I have, I talked about it in a previous video. I've got a little bit of thymol, some lemongrass in there, so it's supposed to be attractive too. Another good looking cluster. They've eaten most all of that sugar. A little bit left right there. All of the pollen was gone off of every single one of these hives so far though, so as far as pollen goes, they've eaten most of that. Whoa, look at that. Holy smokes, this hive is looking amazing. Only thing I did different this year, guys and girls, is pollen, 2-to-1 syrup, and I've just kept them fed. And I have had open feeders going the whole year, so maybe a little bit of open feeding. That baggie's completely empty, so I can try to pull that away from them. See if I can do it without making them too angry. Give them some more. All right, move over. Keep coming with me. I have to bring my stuff. Hopefully this isn't too much motion for you guys or too boring. I don't know, let me know in the comments below if you think this is fun or useful. Bee chores in December. That's what today's about. Bees have been in a pretty good mood too. I hadn't gotten stung once. They've been buzzy a little bit, but it's cloudy out here today. It's about 55 degrees so far. About 9 in the morning. All right, this is the weakest one so far, but I wouldn't call it weak. See how they've just got a lower population and hadn't eaten as much of that sugar. Give them a little bit more just because I've got it broken up. Got to manage my pollen here. I don't have as much as I think I'm going to need, so I'm going to make sure I give these guys some though, because they're a little bit weaker. I can make some more. All right. All right, this is my last Langstroth hive. Then I got to go to the long lang, and that's it. So we're looking good so far. Wow, they look good. They're buzzing a little bit more. I don't think I was any rougher with them. No stings yet, but I'm not wearing my veil. I got my jacket on just in case they get a little antsy. So far, so good. I don't know. Think I should take that sugar one away? I think so. It's mostly gone. Give them some more. All right. They were buzzy, no stings. Let's go to the long lang now. For those of you that don't know about my long lang, this is it. It's got 3 hives in it right now. I have not checked them in a few weeks, so I don't really know what to expect, except for every other hive has looked good, so I have no reason to suspect this one won't look great too. We'll start on the right. There's basically, let me just walk around to the front and show you. See, I've got 4 entrances. The left entrance is one small nuke. The 2 middle ones is a larger hive, and then the far right one is a small nuke. So we'll do the small nuke over here on the right first. No problems. Ate all their sugar. Good girls. Starting to talk to them like I'm my children. Isn't that funny? I have one more pollen patty left, so I'm going to make this go 3 ways, and then I need to make some more pollen. just because every hive has had their pollen eaten up. Nope, I'm going to give them some of this chunk, just because this is a good 6-framer here too. These are going to be my resources that I start the spring with. You know, obviously my observation hive I showed you a little while ago, it's dying, so I may do a split off of one of these, or just augment with some brood maybe here in the spring if they start bumping out. Now I'm going to need to do a little bit, see that I'm going to have to squish it down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is get those ladies off of there. This is probably going to lose a few because see, I got to squish that fondant down. That may be but it's not squishing. So this is a reason to not use this chunk that I haven't squished down yet. So see, I lost some ladies there. So I need to break this up a little bit. This is not a technique I'm proud of right here. Do not copy this. I'm just trying to make this lid fit on and give them some of this sugar that's not in a baggie. The beauty about having them in the baggies is I can kind of massage the baggie like this and make it as thin as I want. So I might use these baggies on these last two and just consider this one a little bit of a loss. Yeah. Remember, this is a double. It looks like both lids came up. Ate all their sugar too. Nice job, girls, eating your Wheaties. I bet some of you out there watching this video have no idea what Wheaties even are. I'm just curious. That's going to be the Easter egg from this video. If you watch this whole video and you heard me talk about Wheaties, write in the comments that you heard me talk about Wheaties. Even if you don't know what they are. I put some of those Easter eggs in my Tesla videos too. Sometimes it's kind of fun for the viewers to prove they watched it. Doesn't matter if you watch the whole thing or not. It's kind of fun. For me, anyway. That went easy. See how that baggie just flattened down and it was nice. So see, now I can massage this guy down, make it nice and flat. As flat as I can. Last one and we're done. I'll go put this video on the internet for you guys. Gosh. Every single hive today looked great. Every single one. So, see, this is actually a divider board for this other hive. So this is a separate hive than this one. So this shouldn't have come up. So this should have been just like that. Divider board. Give them some pollen. They got plenty of sugar on that one, so I actually don't even need to use my last sugar. That's still going fine. Looking good. See this gap? Got to keep that gap closed. All that propolis. I've done a good job keeping that all. Be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thanks for joining me today. I think that's all I'm going to do. I probably will do the same exact thing at the out yard. I have 3 hives in a long Langstroth out there. Just make sure they got enough pollen, got enough sugar left. Just a few more weeks, and the maples are going to be blooming pollen, and it'll be time to switch to 1-to-1. The way these hives look today, I am expecting to have a great spring, at least for bees and splits. Obviously, there's a lot of weather still to come. Our coldest days in Zone 9B here in Jacksonville are in kind of early February. Grafting for me starts around Valentine's Day. If you're thinking about making queens or want to watch me make my queens, I'm going to be doing it that time of year. And also following my journey along on the Master Beekeeper program here. I'm trying to finish up my Master certification and move on to Master Craftsman hopefully this year. In any case, appreciate you joining. Leave some comments below. Let me know you're here. Have a great day and happy holidays.